Hey, how y'all doing? Whites and Mexicans are very different. Mexican babysitting, for example, is this: stay where I can see you. Stay where I can see you. Where are you? Ahí sí, ahí quédate, ahí sí te puedo ver. White babysitting, they'll organize an activity for the children, bring out equipment for it, like football flags, and designate roles. You're the quarterback, you're the running back, you're the receiver. And then they start playing the organized activity. Set, hut. Mexicans, by contrast, because they're not being supervised, they're just being watched, they're playing around like this. And then the white mother will ask their children if their leisure activity was fun. Billy, Samantha, was your leisure activity fun? Yeah, Mom, it was really fun. Oh, I'm glad. Here's some snacks. Snacks? We barely had food. And our dinner conversations are also very different. A Caucasian will inquire about their children's activities. Hey kids, how are you? Dad, I scored the winning goal. Fantastic, Billy. Oh, and Dad, I got an A in calculus. That's great, Samantha. I'm glad my kids are doing okay. By contrast, a Mexican dinner table, the dad won't even inquire about how their children are doing. He will automatically assume one of them has gone in trouble. Hey, did you get in trouble? ¿Te peleaste? Principal McCaffrey already told me that if you get in another fight, it's expulsion. ¿Te peleaste o no, cabrón? And then the white mother will ask the children, was dinner satisfactory, Billy and Samantha? Yeah, Mom, it was really good. Well, I'm glad that was good. And if it wasn't, be sure to let me know so that next time I can cook it to your satisfaction. In a Mexican dinner table, you provide your mother with feedback. You tell her, oye, mamá, estaba seco la comida, no tenía sabor. The food was dry, it had no flavor. Mira, cabrón. That's all there is. And if you think you can do a better job, why don't you cook it? And when the white kids provide feedback to the mother, she'll say, great, thank you for providing me with that feedback. It's constructive criticism. I accept it like a badge of honor. And next time, I will keep that in mind so that I can provide you with a meal that is to your satisfaction. And when whites and Mexicans see their kids off to college is also very different. White people will say, oh, Stephanie, you're all grown up. We're so proud of you. You're going to one day become a lawyer. Here's some extra money so that you can fill the tank up with gas or buy textbooks. And if there's anything that you need, don't hesitate to call us. We're just a phone call away. And remember, there's nothing that you can do that is so wrong where you can't come back home. Versus a Mexican family, first of all, they're not even happy that you're going to college. It's as though you're moving on to greener pastures and forgetting about them. If you want to go to the university, go. You know where the university is. I'm sure there's an application you got to fill out. Fill it out. And when you come back homesick, a Caucasian parent will say, oh, Stephanie, perhaps you haven't gotten acclimated to the environment. Or it's your major. Perhaps it's not suitable to your interest. One way or another, we will get you graduated. Versus a Mexican parent, you come home sick from college. ¿Qué fue? ¿Qué pasó? ¿No la armaste? Ni modo. You fucked up, you're fucked. And when we exercise, it's also very different. Caucasians could be well into their 70s and they're playing racquetball. No problem with their joints. They took care of themselves. They're within weight standards versus a Mexican. A Mexican will just sit in the sauna. Oh, with his panzota hanging like that. Ya ni se ve la chingadera. He can't even see his penis now. Oh, my back hurts. Me duelen las rodillas. My feet are all swollen. And then you will ask him, pues tío, pues, what did you do over the weekend? No, hijo, pues I drank a 12-pack and had a barbecue with the family. And you don't think that's the reason your feet are swollen? Pues sí, mijo, pero pues for the little life I have left, I don't care. And when you tell your white parents you started playing football, oh, fantastic, Billy, I'm so proud of you. My son, the star jock. You tell your Mexican parents you started playing football. Your mom will say, mira, grab the broom. What are you doing playing out football over there? Burn calories mopping and sweeping. Look at the action you get when you sweep and mop. You see how you're working out that bicep? And your dad will chime in, you're pushing guys out on the football field. Come push the lawnmower. And when Caucasians watch their kids play sports, woo, Billy, yay! Billy's dad, Billy's mom, Billy's sister, Billy's brother, the whole family's there to support him. Versus a Mexican family, parents, they don't even get down from the car. And they're completely oblivious to their kid playing. They'll turn on the radio. Que no, huella, que no, que no, que no, huella. Que no, huella, que no, que no, que no, huella. ¿A cuál es? Es el 27. Está allá, al lado del 15. Ah, ok. Que no, huella, que no, que no, que no, huella. Oye, tu mamá está muy enferma. Sí, tengo que ir a verla. Que no, huella, que no, que no, que no, huella. ¿Cuándo se acaba esto? Ahorita, en 1 hora. Que no, huella, que no, que no, que no, huella. In our marriage selection, is very different. You ask the white woman why she married her husband, she'll say, oh, he has good credit, just got accepted to law school. You ask a white man why he married his wife, she was a Christian woman. Good family values. And you ask a Mexican woman why she married her Mexican husband, she'll say, está bien guapo. Me va a dar hijos bien chulos. He's so handsome. He gave me really good looking kids. You ask a Mexican man why he married his wife. Unas chichotas y nalgotas que tiene, ¿no las has visto? That's why. And when you have sex, it's very different. White women enjoy sex. Oh, yes, harder, deeper, right there, that's the spot. When you have sex with a Mexican woman, you have her in the missionary position, and she's like, ándale, hurry up, my head hurts, I have laundry to do. Or she'll be reading a People magazine in Espanol, or going through her Instagram, as you're doing this, completely oblivious to what you're doing. And when you finally get an I see out of her, it's not even you. You have her in the missionary position, and she's watching the telenovela on the television, and Sebastian has just proposed to Maria. Her you see is her enthusiasm for the telenovela scene. And when we shop for pets, it's also very different. In a Caucasian family, it'll go something like this. Hi kids, it's Saturday. If you remember, I told you we'd go shopping for our pet. Everybody get ready so that we can go to the pet store and buy our first dog. Yay, Mom! Shopping for a pet in a Mexican household? Well, you don't shop for a pet. We don't even know what a pet store is. We'll see a stray cat and we'll say, Mia, Mia, there's a stray cat. Give me a bologna. Oh, qué bonito. Oh. And when we go to Disneyland, a theme park, take our vacation, a Caucasian family will be like, woo! Yay! Enjoying the roller coaster ride. When Mexicans go to Disneyland, they'll pull up to Disneyland. See that? This is Disneyland ahí está. See. Okay. They don't get down. Just see Disneyland. Yep, that's Disneyland. When white men meet someone, hi, I'm Bill. When Mexican men meet someone, they'll just do this. Not say a word, just do that. When white women meet someone, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Linda. How are you? When Mexican women meet someone, they're like, oh, okay, they keep their guard up. Is she a backstabbing bitch or not? Thinking to herself. When white men see their men in public, or when white men see their friends or family in public, oh, hi, Bill. Hi, Bob. How are you? Fantastic. How's the law firm? Oh, great. And the kids? Awesome. How about yourself? The same. Oh, that's good to hear. Versus a Mexican man. Is that him? And they'll approach him. They don't even ask him about how his life is going. Where you been, puto? And when we bring our boyfriend or girlfriend of another race or ethnicity home, it's also very different. In a Mexican household, the mom will say, come, Samantha. Here we prepared Mexican dishes. We have tacos, we have enchiladas, tamales. Nothing like the plastic you've been eating you call pizza and hamburgers. They're very ethnocentristic. Versus a Caucasian family. Hi, I'm Linda, Stephanie's mother, and in honor of your visit, we prepared an assortment of Mexican dishes. Here we have the tacos, here we have the tamales, and here we have the enchiladas. Oh, and this is my husband, Bob. And Bob will come out wearing a charro suit and a sombrero and packing a pistol. ¿Cómo está, señor? And coming down the stairs is Sean, Stephanie's brother, Samantha's brother. And Sean will be holding out 2 roosters. What's up, bro? This is Paco and this is Diablo. When we're done eating, we're going to fight him. I got my money on Diablo. So they get to eating, and then when dinner is done, the mother will say, dinner has concluded. Now we're going to throw tortillas up in the air and fire our pistols. Arriba, arriba, arriba. Embracing Mexican culture. And when the white women greet the different ethnic brother's girlfriend, oh, hi, how are you? We're going to be such best friends. Versus a Mexican woman. Mira lo que trajo Juan a la casa. Taylor Swift. And when white men are at a party, they'll be sitting down holding their baby. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, great. Fantastic. And someone will approach. Oh, hi. How are you? Versus Mexican men. When's the last time you ever seen a Mexican man carry their child? Never. All they do is this. They're standing, holding a beer, and they don't even say anything. Not one word. The one word that they will say is pues sí, which loosely translates to that's life. Pues sí. And they'll keep saying that. That's the only thing they know how to say. And when Caucasian men have too much to drink, they'll approach their wives. Linda, I had a little too much to drink. Can you please drive us home? Sure, hon, no problem. Versus a Mexican. They help him. They strap him in. He can't do that himself. He just tosses his head to the side, drooling. Oh. And I'll see white kids arguing with their parents. That wasn't very nice, mister. You will apologize. No, I don't want to. You start giving your Mexican parents lip, there's no conversation. They're just going to smack you. Boom, chingao. And you do that with a white kid? The white kid will say, Linda, I'm calling social services on you. Mexican culture has really seeped into America. The other day, I was at the golf course and there was these white golfers. And when they swung, instead of saying 4, they yelled, háganse a la chingada. And their golf carts had doves and an adjusted suspension. And a picture of their wife driving their kids in a minivan to soccer practice. And he was telling the other Caucasian man, Ya sabes. My wife is a soccer mom. Ese. White people love Mexican food. There's probably as many Mexican restaurants in California as there are Starbucks. And don't say because there's a lot of Mexicans. If they were selling crap, there would be no demand for it. So white people really love Mexican food. I hope one day they can also love Mexicans just as much. I recently lost weight. You don't know how fat you are until you lose the weight. And women have been checking me out. When I was at the park, a woman did this to me. Like a guy shopping for a car. Yeah, you know what? This guy can lift heavy objects and bring in my groceries. And women sense that I'm looking to get married. It's like a sixth sense. I'll walk into any store and they'll do this. That guy is looking to get married. And then they'll walk up to me like zombies. I want a $500,000 home, a $50,000 minivan, and 3 children. I'll be in the produce section, and women who've already passed the section that I'm in will return to the section that I'm in just to get my attention. Recently, this woman did it with bananas. She came back to buy bananas and noticed that she had bananas in her car. I was like, she already has bananas in her car, and she wanted my attention. Now, I don't pay any attention to these women because while they're my age, they don't no longer have any childbearing years left in them. So I resolved to go into the club. Yes, I know that's not the way to go, but if you can just see the women that are going to the gym nowadays, you'll understand why I'm going to the club. So I'm at the club. I'm not really a club person. I don't even know why people go there. It's just so crowded. The music is so loud. I'm 40, I don't think you have any business going to the club, but when you're single, you resolve to go into the club to find a mate. And so I bumped into this guy and accidentally, and then he pushed me from behind, and then I turned around. I was like, hey, motherfucker. And then I cut myself off after coming to the realization that he was 7 feet tall and about 300 pounds. And I told him, it is really crowded in here. I would like to reimburse you for that drink. I'll go to the gym too, looking for a mate. These women eat healthy, they exercise, but you see nothing but attention whores. I mean, there are these women wearing leggings and sports bras. Their tits are just screaming to come out, and their camel toe is visible. And this guy will stare at them, and they're like, what are you staring at, you creep? The guy tells her, you're wearing this attention horse starter pack, and you don't expect me to stare at you? Get away from me. And then a guy yells across the gym, hey, hon, I got vasodilators if you want to take some to fluff up your already visible camel toe. And then another guy will walk by and take her tripod and camera and move it out the way. Hey, what are you doing? Don't touch that. Hey, the gym is for everyone. I don't mind being recorded while I'm working out. And then finally, the gym manager comes to resolve the situation. What is going on here? And he's like, oh, okay. No need to explain. It's this attention whore here that is causing all the commotion. And he tells her, honey, the men here come here to work out, not to hit on cock teasers like yourself. This isn't a bar. This is a gym. Go home, change into something more appropriately, and leave your camera and tripod at home. What a happy ending. So that's the reason I don't go to the gym. I mean, look at what you come across. I'm what you call a short king. For those of you who don't know the term, a short king is a man who's short and has money. Before, short guys used to get curbed all the time. Now, women are in the lookout for them. Short king at 3 o'clock. Roger that. Are you sure he's a short king? He's got a gold Rolex, an Armani suit and tie. He's definitely a short king. Copy that. We're on our way. And when they approach, you know what these women are about. So what you do is you give your debit card to your friend and tell him, here, whatever happens, don't give me that card back. And then the woman will approach you like this. Hi, how are you? Hey, how are you? And you're like, what are you doing? Isn't it obvious? I'm trying to sperm jack you so that I can get a fat child support payment. I've been having a lot of sex lately I've been having a lot of sex lately, and my neighbors in my condo, I think they can hear everything, because the following morning when I bumped into them in the hallway, the men do this, and the women do this, and they start playing with their hair, and even the dog approaches me, woof, 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 and gives me a high five. I recently changed my entire wardrobe, and the shopping experience went something like this. Look at the high-end men's clothing store like Forrest Gump, skirt, to go inside. And I finally had the courage to go inside. I'm greeted by this homosexual sales agent. And he's like, hi. He looks at me up and down, passing judgment. I'm wearing these white, dirty sneakers, and pants are 3 sizes too big, and an oversized t-shirt with a nacho stain. And he's thinking to himself, oh, this guy isn't going to buy anything. He just probably meandered in her. His wife is probably over there shopping her own. But nevertheless, he helps me out. He teaches me about color coordination. And I tell him, dude, you see this nacho stain on my shirt? I cleaned it off doing this. So he comes to the realization that I don't know what jack shit. I've never been shopping, and it's true. But he's still patient with me. But then he goes, helps out someone else, probably kind of the realization that I wasn't going to buy anything just on account of how I was dressed. I looked like I had just crawled out of a rock. So there's another gentleman there who helps me. He's not an associate, but he's a shopper, and he's gay too. And he also passes judgment. He's like, oh my God, you poor thing. And just after, also taking a good look at me. And he does the same thing. He tells me about color coordination, and we find outfits. It's no longer a shirt and pants. It's an outfit, an ensemble. And that process takes about an hour. And so I'm thinking we're done. He's like, now we got to get you tailored. And I'm like, really? Dude, look at me. Does it look like I know anything about getting tailored or want to get tailored? He's like, it's part of the shopping process. You'll thank me later. So we get tailored. And they're measuring, they're adjusting. For those of you who never gone tailored, I'm guessing every man here, they use needles. So if you move, you're going to take a needle to your ass, and that's what happened. And I moved, and I was like, oh! And then the homosexual was like, you just lost your shopping virginity. I'm like, no kidding. I just took a needle to the ass. And so the tailor finishes tailoring me. That process takes about another hour. So 2 hours have elapsed at this point. And the homosexual Tim tells me, if you like, we can go. I forgot the name of the store that sells men's shoes. We can go there. I'm on my way there. That way we can find you some shoes. I was like, no. What is that, about another hour? He's like, at least. And so we we go there and we do the same thing. We mix and match the shoes with the outfits, and that process takes about an hour. Also, so at this point, 3 hours have elapsed. Just goes to show you the amount of work these men go into dressing themselves, and women do the same thing. It never occurred to us. Now that we're going through the process, we can certainly understand the amount of work that women put into dressing themselves. So before you, rip through your girlfriend's clothing and start, going, sexing her up, just keep that in mind. And so, after we're done, I tell him, hey, thank you. I would like to buy you a cup of coffee to thank you for your efforts and dressing me. He's like, okay. And so we go to Starbucks, and I, like any other guy, order a cafe latte, cafe con leche. And this Tim, homosexual, orders a Frappuccino non-fat, almond milk, add caramel chocolate with some foam and sprinkle some cinnamon. His order length was about that long. And I don't pass judgment on him because, if he has that detail orientation and dressing me, he most definitely has a delicate platter. And so he does pass judgment on me. He's like, oh, you poor thing. If you wanted black coffee or coffee and milk, you should have just gone to a diner. Starbucks is a different kind of coffee. And so we get our drinks, our coffees, and we sit down, and I tell him, oh, you guys are really good at what you do. He's like, that's what we do. And so I was like, no. You guys are like women on steroids. You're better cooks, better designers. You're the people that are styling the hairs of movie stars and applying their makeup. You're also designing their gala dresses that they wear to the Oscars. And he's like, that's what we do. And so when we're done with we're drinking the coffee, he's like, now we got to get your hair cut. I was like, no. At this point, like 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours have elapsed. So we go in there and we finish our coffee. We go to get my hair cut. And we go to the beauty salon. I've been getting $5 haircuts all my life at the barber shop. In fact, when I was in high school, I used to cut my own hair using the clippers. Zoom, zoom. So, a beauty salon just kind of goes over me. And so I'm greeted by a master stylist. A master stylist, that term also went over me. And she sits me down and she tells me, would you like a protein treatment? And I'm looking at her with this dumb look on my face. Hun, the only protein treatment I know is the protein shake that you drink before you go work out at the gym. And so she comes to the understanding that I don't know anything. She tells me it's to fortify your hair or add texture, shine. I was like, oh, okay. And Timmy comes in, give him the works. So she gives me the works, and then she starts cutting my hair. When you go to the barber shop, even a beauty salon, they cut your hair like this, right? With this stylist was an Asian master stylist. So, and I don't want to stereotype Asians, but she did this. She opened the scissors and held them like that, like a knife, and she started doing this, which was very impressive. She also went to the lengths of cutting your hair in half like this and then cutting it like that. I don't know why, but that was also very impressive. So at this point, like 4 or 5 hours have elapsed, and my girlfriend calls me. She's like, where you been? Oh, I'm here with this guy. This guy? I was like, no, don't worry. He changed me. He changed you? No, he changed me for the good. For the good? She thinks I'm getting it on with Timmy. I was like, no, it's not like that. He helped me pick out clothes, shoes, and I'm getting a haircut right now. She's like, oh, okay. And I was like, when we're done, I'll go to your apartment. Okay? She's like, okay, see you then. And the master stylist finishes cutting my hair. I thanked Timmy really for everything that he did for me, and see him off. I put on the clothes that I'm wearing, that I purchased, and then I arrive at my girlfriend's looking like $1,000,000. She opens the door and she's like, "Wow, you're definitely getting some tonight." I'm 40 years old. 40-year-olds do a lot of talking. We sit down, we go to restaurants, we converse. We're not going to clubs or bars anymore. The music, that scene is too loud for us. And I want to be in bed by 10. I think the club scene, if I remember correctly, starts at 11:30, 12. So that's no longer for me. And so we're conversing amongst each other. And you're 40 years old at this point. You don't care, about the minutia of people's lives. And when somebody hits a sore spot, you don't rebuttal. You just kind of stay quiet. But this particular time, one of the younger women that was there, she said that men or women were superior to men in every aspect, and she italicized every aspect. I was like, whoa, that pushed my buttons. So I was like, whoa, what you're saying is not only not true, in fact, the opposite is true. She's like, no, it's not. She's like, we're the superior gender. I was like, no, you're not. And I give her the hypothetical scenario. I tell her, if women were placed in the jungle and with no men around, you would get harassed, beaten, killed, raped, eaten by men, predators. And she starts giving some thought to what I'm saying. She's like, but she rebuttals, yeah, but we don't live in the jungle. I was like, well, I know we don't live in the jungle, but I'm giving you the hypothetical scenario of living in the jungle. She's like, we live in civilization. I was like, yeah, and you can thank men for that because man built civilization. And she kind of falls quiet. I was like, look around you. You see this restaurant that we're in? Built and maintained by men. The car that brought you here? Built and maintained by men. The house that you live in? Built and maintained by men. When you take your car on the road, you take your car to a male mechanic to ensure that car isn't going to break down on you when you're out on the road. When your internet goes out, a man comes to repair it, not a woman. So now I could see the gears in her head turning. She's like having a change of heart, having somewhat of an epiphany. And I tell her, look, man, we're not even going to get into faculties and intelligence, right? Because that's not the core of who a person is. The core of who a person is their character. And she's like, you don't have better character than women. I was like, but we do. She's like, you start wars. I was like, did you not listen to what I just told you? We start wars to fend off predators, people that are trying to harm us, our family, the village. We're not just doing it for no reason. And she's thinking about what I'm saying. And this guy chimes in. She's like, we really don't need women. I was like, hey, there's no need for that. We still kind of want their company on some level. And she's like, another woman chimes in, you need us for reproduction. And I was like, and their tones are getting aggressive at this point. I was like, no, we don't. We need your maternal eggs, but we don't need you. And then she rebuttals, you need a uterus, you idiot. I was like, whoa, there's no need for name calling. We're having a civil conversation here. And then I tell her, we can build an artificial uterus and get the male sperm and the female maternal egg and put it in this artificial uterus and conceive through what is called exogenesis. And that term just went over their heads. They're looking at me like this. They start blinking. When a woman starts blinking, she's having like an epiphany. You're completely revolutionizing the way she saw things, her thought process. And I tell her, but he does make a good point that if men were to disappear, from the face of the earth tomorrow, civilization will collapse. Women couldn't erect a building, build a home, right? Or maintain it, right? And they're still quiet. And she's like, we will figure it out. I was like, no, you won't. It's been put to the test. They put men and women in an island, and the men immediately assessed the situation and started taking control of it. They started gathering food, building shelter, building a fire, fishing. Women were completely helpless. They were just looking at each other like, what do we do? So you do need men. Men are the superior gender. And I feel like she wants to rebuttal, but everything that I told her has just hit home. And then like, well, why are you getting married? I was like, well, it's not that we need you, we want you. And I tell her, you must be fucking insane to believe that men don't know how to use a broom, a mop, can't wash dishes, do laundry. Men has divided the atom, has been to space and probed the deepest of ocean waters. You must be completely nuts if you think he doesn't know how to cook, clean, and do laundry. And so another woman interjects. She's like, well, my mother didn't need a man. So my mother raised us on her own. And I was like, did you not listen to what I told you? She's like, yes. My mother didn't need a man. I was like, you just completely missed what I just told you. And then another guy provides you with a rescue, throws her a life raft. He's like, he's trying to explain to you that men, even though they don't need women, they still marry them. He just proved to you beyond a reasonable doubt that men are self-sufficient. They can manage without a woman. What you just stated is that your mother, and this is every woman, didn't get with a man because she had no need for him. So a woman's desire to be with a man is under the condition that he can provide. So if the woman is providing for herself, and needs no man to provide for her, she has no need for the man. So that's the point that he's trying to make. And I tell her, we approach you even though we don't need you. You only approach us if you need us. That's a serious character flaw. And we will marry down. A rich man, surgeon, will approach a McDonald's minimum wage worker. A rich woman will not date and certainly will not marry a minimum wage McDonald's worker. And at this point, they're just quiet because they know what I'm telling them is true. And I give you the example of a surgeon because in the medical industry, male surgeons, male doctors marry female nurses, but female doctors will never marry a male nurse. They won't marry a male nurse. You think they're going to marry a male employee who works at McDonald's? Of course not. You have a serious character flaw. And let's set that aside for a minute. Also, you also have, men also have something that women don't have. We have shame. A man takes pride in working hard to buy the things that he wants and needs. A woman will find a guy to provide her with the things that she needs and wants. And she might not only have one man, she'll have multiple men. One man that'll provide her with transportation, another man with a concert tickets, another man that, the beta simp that she confides in and talks to, when she's emotional, and then the alpha male who she wants to marry to give her good, healthy children. And in some cases, women will sell their bodies for money to buy the things that she needs and wants. A man will never do that because men have shame. And at this point, they're quiet. And I hope that cements the argument of gender war, of who the superior gender is. Men are the superior gender without a reasonable doubt. Better faculties, better intelligence, better character, and we have shame. Uh, Folks, at this point, being 40 years old, I don't mean to brag, but it's quite true. Like, if you stay single, you more than likely have had sex with women of all races. And I'll give you a brief synopsis of the different experiences of having sex with women of different races. White women, as I mentioned, enjoy sex. And it's like, harder, harder, deeper, deeper. That's a spot. She'll bring you down here. Come on, Jose, work that bush, work that bush. I can't exaggerate here because it won't be uploaded to YouTube. And Jose will tell her, man, but I'm a plumber. I know. There's always a first time for everything. Trim that bush, Jose. Trim that bush. And sex with an African American woman is like this. Pardon. And they do such a good job of doing that. I mean, they're going to town and stroking and sucking it simultaneously. They're like professionals being filmed, and so if you're Mexican, in my case, like you've never gotten a blowjob, because Mexican women don't do that. So you'll discourage her from doing that, and by putting your hand on her, or thinking about your grandma, so that you don't lose your load. Grandma. And when you put your hand on her head, she thinks you're encouraging her, so she's doing this, and you're gonna lose your load. They do such a fine job, so you yank her off of you, you help her to the standing position, and then she'll lure you to the bed, and then she'll mount you, and then you'll hear this boom, 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 boom. Man, African American men must have balls of steel, because when they come down on you, they come down on you hard, and they have these large buttocks. Boom, 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 boom. It hurts, and you're wondering if you're gonna wake up with skin the next day. And with a Mexican, as mentioned, they're really apathetic to sex. They don't even want to have sex with you. They just want to get it over with as soon as possible. The sooner the better. And hurry up, my head hurts. I got laundry to do. And yes, they're completely oblivious to what you're doing to them. You have them in this position, they're reading a magazine or going through their Instagram. Very true. And an Asian, I think they still have that communistic discipline. They think they're in a communistic factory and being supervised by a communistic supervisor. So it'll go something like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she's constantly checking back on you. Good. Yeah. Oh, she thinks the quality assurance personnel is overlooking her. Trump wants to build a border wall, and he couldn't be more wrong. Hiring Mexicans to build that wall. Mexicans will build you the wall, but they will also build you hidden cameras and doors in those walls, and they'll have a dispatcher overlooking those cameras. No hay migra, dale. They'll start taking numbers to when you can cross. Maria, you're crossing on the 15th. Juana, the 30th. Isabel, the first week of the next month. And if the Mexicans get caught, Mexicans are so friendly. The woman will remove her sarape and give it to the border patrol agent and call him mijo, here mijo, para que no te dé pneumonia, so that you don't get pneumonia. And they end up conversing, probably sitting on the floor. Sí, señor, I want to live the American dream. I hear you, Jose. The Mexican woman will offer him food. ¿Quiere un taco? ¿Quiere un tamal? Yeah, sure, I love tamales. And if the Border Patrol agent is African American, it'll go something along the lines of this: Jose, get your ass back here! I will smack the chimichangas off your face. You'll be eating tamales too. These are really good tamales. But your ass still has to get back to Mexico. Sir, I want to live the American dream. I hear you, dog. But you gotta do it legitimately. Transgenderism is in the rise in the United States. These people couldn't be more delusional. One day they're going to end up in the fertility clinic querying a doctor as to why they haven't gotten pregnant, making the doctor's eyes go wide as he's performing the ultrasound. And being the snowflake community that we live in, instead of giving them a referral for being, giving them a psychiatric referral for being delusional, he'll tell them, oh, keep trying. One day you'll get pregnant. The Ukraine war has been taking place for many years. If you want that conflict to end quickly, hire Mexicans. Mexicans get the job done quickly, and you don't even have to arm them. Orale! Selena Gomez recently got engaged to Benny Blanco. That woman is a billionaire. Talk about true love. She has absolutely no need for a man. If Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez end up getting divorced, Benny Blanco is going to become a billionaire and finally give women a taste of their own medicine. Women have been putting men through the ringer in divorce settlements since the beginning of time. Just ask Jeff Bezos. Tom Brady recently got roasted. Ouch. That joke about he having 8 rings because Giselle gave her a ring back, that was my favorite joke. I don't know why they hired Kevin Hart to host. That man has absolutely no talent. He was completely outclassed. Oh wait, I do know why they hired him. They wanted Wayne Brady to do it, but he was too Caucasian, and Netflix had to check off the white or the African American quota. Floyd Mayweather Jr. recently got punched by a Palestinian in Israel because of his support for the Jews. The greatest boxer of all time, who couldn't get punched, finally getting punched by someone who isn't a boxer. If you ask me, don't press charges on the aggressor. Instead, give him $10 million for accomplishing something that 21 world champion boxers couldn't accomplish. Diddy's in jail for human trafficking and sexual assault, rape. Personally, if you ask me, I think he should go to jail, and anyone else involved as well. I don't condone his freaky sex parties. I played sports in high school. We still have them all the time. The key word here is we, as in we were the same age. An OnlyFans model who slept with 100 men is being called back by those men that she slept with for violating her agreement. She had agreed to sleep with a man, but beforehand talk to him for 5 minutes. And she didn't talk to them. I think these men missed the basis of the video. And when's the last time men had any feelings? I can just imagine how that conversation went. Han, you didn't talk to us for 5 minutes. It was a sex video. There's no foreplay in a sex video. And I didn't want foreplay because unlike you, I have a pair of balls. The United Healthcare CEO was shot and killed. My condolences go out to his family. But talk about finally putting a cap on healthcare costs. An Italian mobster who stayed in the same prison as Epstein, and now the prison that Diddy's staying in, has recently spoken out about how it's impossible to commit suicide in those prison cells. He's stated that Epstein didn't commit suicide, rather he was murdered. And if Diddy is murdered, he wasn't murdered. Diddy committed suicide. He didn't commit suicide, rather he was murdered. And while the Hollywood A-listers are nobody, the Sinai's Jews who own them are somebody. So you know who killed Diddy if he ends up committing suicide. I drive really fast, but when you incur thousands of dollars in suspension repairs. You learn to go slow. It's gotten to the point where I'm driving my red 5.0 Mustang like an old lady. And when I pass speed checkpoints, the cops just look at me like, this guy is a really respectable driver concerning the red car he's driving. And they'll just pull back the gun and say, go ahead. I usually date women who are bigger and taller than me. This last woman that I dated, I took her out to dinner and she had a 24-ounce porterhouse and a large baked potato. And I had tilapia and steamed vegetables. And when the waiter brought out the bill, he handed the bill to her. And then I handed my keys to her as well. I told her, you might as well drive us home too. And on our ride home, I told her, you might get lucky. There was a fly buzzing all night the other night, and I didn't want to get up and kill it because I was afraid of losing my sleep. The next morning when I woke up, it was still buzzing in my apartment, so I took a fly swatter and smacked it. I didn't kill it, but I knocked it unconscious, and I did what any person with a sound mind would do. I taped it to the counter, and then I put my AirPods around it and turned on the music full blast. Give that little pest a taste of his own medicine. I was told to stay away from certain areas in LA if I ever do comedy in LA, and I told him, hey, if I shave my head, I look like a gangbanger, and I'll take control of LA, considering my business and financial savviness. I'll set him up for a retirement plan. Raul, you're going to one day get old, and you're going to start losing your vision and your hearing, and your hip might one day give out. You should start planning for retirement. And I'll create guidelines and tell them, now, Raul, as per the guidelines, because I assume most of the risk, it's a 60-40 split. Guidelines, now, Raul. HR has already brought to your attention your angry outburst, and the company psychiatrist has made it clear that your anger stems from the fact that you had an overbearing mother and an absent father. He's like, I know. He puts the gun down. And I can just imagine these old gangbangers, they don't have a retirement plan. We're getting shot at. What? We're getting shot at. Can't you hear? What? Get moving. Oh, my hip. So as mentioned, I want to get married, and I think it's gotten to the point where I'm running out of time because I'm 40 years old. So I was considering moving to New York. I can just imagine how dating goes in New York, considering their fast-paced life. I think it would go something like this. Hi, we made a match. You're good looking. Do you want to get married? Yeah. Is Thursday 5 p.m. good for you? Yeah. Okay, see you there. Don't be late. I pronounce you husband and wife. Come on, let's go make children. Hurry, babe, it's only been 10 seconds. Don't I at least get a minute? No, I'm 40 years old. My name is Alex. Thank you. God bless.